Hey everyone. So first off, thank you, Daniel, for having me on your podcast. It's a great feeling to be on someone else's podcast. I'm not really familiar with being like that yet, but yeah, thanks to you. So my name is Asyraaf. I live in Malaysia. So maybe not many people know that country. So it's a pretty small country close to Australia. You know Australia?
Yeah, I know Australia
Okay. No,
better than Malaysia.
you know Malaysia too?
No, I don't
Oh
I
my
don't
gosh.
know a lot about Malaysia, to be honest.
Okay.
It's the
All right,
first
all right.
person that I talk with from Malaysia, to be honest. I feel honored.
Wow, I feel honored. Ah, okay, so in Malaysia, we use the language called Malay, and a lot of words in Malay are actually borrowed from English words too. So it's kind of shortcoming process to learn English. Okay, so I studied electrical engineering right now, and now I'm doing an online business where I help podcasters that are selling any product to create content that gets their listener to buy the stuff. And since this podcast is about English learning process, I have been studying English for 9 years, I guess, close to 10 years. Okay. So even though it sounds that long, it sounds like a long year, I'm still not fluent at it because I didn't really use that much in my day-to-day basis. Okay. But after launching a podcast 2 years ago, my English started to become more fluent. I started to become confident with my speaking skills, and also a lot of my skills have been developed since the launch of my podcast. Okay, so yeah, that's the introduction of me.
Yeah, that is really nice. You said that you don't consider yourself to be fluent in English, but you are conducting
Yeah,
interviews, right? Because you have a podcast which you conduct in English, and
yeah,
I think you had almost 100 interviews, right?
yeah. Actually, more than 100, I think.
Awesome. So is it different then when you are conducting the interview? Is it easier for you to speak in English than being on a podcast?
Yeah. So it's actually easier for me to just ask questions, and I don't really have to add my points when the guests talk about their points, right? All I have to do is just, wow, that's great. How about this? Oh my gosh, awesome. How about that? How about this thing, right? So all I have to do is just ask question that's already being
Yeah,
presented on my screen. Okay, so it's easy for me
I
that way.
see. Can you remember back maybe the very first interview you had, let's say,
Yeah,
compared to today?
yeah.
Was it difficult to conduct the interview and maybe also to understand what the other person was saying? How did you feel about it back then?
So the first few episodes of my interview, I didn't really do well. I mean, obviously, right? Because that's my first step. The way I ask question and the way I pronounce some words were not really good. I mean, if anyone would listen to it, it really cringe the way I pronounce some words. Okay. And compared to now, a lot of my people, a lot of my friends, my close friends that listen to it, most of them say that I sound like an American.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. It's nothing like that, right? It's just, it sounds more American than before. It's not fully,
Mhm.
but a bit.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So, are there many friends of yours that are doing stuff like that? I mean, having their own podcast in English, is it common?
Yeah, it's not common actually in among my friends, my school friends. Actually, I'm the first
Mhm.
one to launch a podcast. They are not familiar with podcasts. Here in Malaysia,
Oh,
podcasting is not
okay.
actually common. So it's more common, I think, in Europe,
Mhm.
right? Or in US. So yeah, in Malaysia, it's not very common. So they don't really care about me doing podcasts. But when they listen to it, they'll feel like, oh my gosh, you sound close to American. But yeah, I take that as a compliment for me to reach a new level. Yeah, it shows that I've reached a new level of my speaking skill.
Yeah, that is just awesome because it's not a typical way to learn a language. So it's so inspiring to make a podcast, to talk about your own passion. And in the process, you get better and better and better. This is awesome. And
Mhm.
how did you find out about podcasts then, if it is not so well known in Malaysia?
This is when I studied in Poland, when I was taking engineering. Okay. So in 2019, I went to Poland, and that's when, podcast was a big part in my university at the time in Poland. So I thought maybe I could try launch one because, it seems fun. It seems
Mhm.
like that was my way to learn English and to practice English, right? And that's one reason. Actually, there are many reasons, but, I can only give two.
Of
Okay.
course.
Is
Yes,
it cool?
sure.
Okay. So another reason is because I took a business course from someone named Russell Brunson. So he was the one that asked me to launch my podcast. So when I took a business course, one of the things that he really pushed was publishing. Okay, so there are three ways to publish, whether it's podcast, YouTube, or blog. And I chose podcasts because I think it's easier for me. And that's how I got started my
Cool.
podcast, because I just wanted to build an online business.
I see. So you were, in a way, you were forced to do because of a course, and then you made it and you began to love it, and then you
Yeah,
continued with the same podcast. Is that right?
yeah, yeah. I've changed quite a lot of things in my podcast. Especially, I've been rebranding it many times. I think it was 3 times because I found my niche, and really specifically. So the more I publish my podcast, the more I found what I really like.
Okay,
So I end up rebranding it 3 times.
I see. And when you are interviewing people or when you are doing stuff for your podcast, for example, when you're writing a blog post or something like that, or advertising, do you think yourself still as an English learner, or when you are conducting the interview, are you still having troubles sometimes, or are there no communication problems these days?
Oh, you mean the communication between the
Yes.
guests? Yeah. Usually I didn't really pick up a lot of the things that the guests say
Okay.
in the middle of interview. Yeah. So I try to pick up some part and just target on that thing. So yeah, sometimes I didn't really understand what the guest said, so I just roll with it. Just say, "Wow, that's awesome."
Okay, I see. Yeah. I remember in one of my first interviews, for me it was the same because I was overwhelmed by all the information in another language, and I
Yeah.
couldn't process all the information, and I was also very nervous, and but
Mhm. Yeah, I understand the
but
feeling.
it's great because over the time you get better and better, and that is
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. So you mentioned you were at the university in Poland, right?
I
And
was. Yeah.
what language was
Yeah.
it conducted?
In Poland, it was
Polish?
Polish. Yeah. But I studied in English.
Okay, I see. And do
Yeah.
you learn other languages than English?
Uh-huh. Yeah, in my high school, I learned Arabic because it was obligatory. Okay. And in Poland, it's it's not fully obligatory. It's good to learn, right? So I end up learning some words in Polish so that I can talk with strangers. I can talk with someone in convenience store, right? So far, I only learned 4 languages: my own language, English, Arabic, and Polish. So,
Yeah, it's a lot. And do you have any other methods how you can improve in your languages?
so I started taking and learning English. I took it seriously when I was 13. This is because it was obligatory in my high school. So, and at that time, I went to a school that had English subject. And, because English is necessary when going overseas, right? And, after learning it for a while, I could only write and listen. I could not speak very well in my high school year. So I studied English in
Yeah.
my high school. And I had multiple exams that include English because usually my grades in terms of speaking, listening, and writing are all different. my listening skill is was the highest at that time, and then writing, and then speaking. Speaking was the lowest one. So, I mean, obviously listening I think it's easiest, right? You just listen and you pick up some words and you instantly get what they're saying. And yeah, so I studied my English in my high school. So the reason why I wasn't really good at speaking is because I need to think. I need to think of a better word to use, right? I mean, that's one. Another thing is because the grammar, right? The use of grammar. I need to know which tense to use. Is it past tense, present tense, present perfect tense? Wait, is there present perfect tense?
Yeah.
I think that is. And yeah, it was really intense for me to think all of this thing in just a matter of seconds. So yeah, it was a big challenge for me to speak because of all this thought that came into my mind, right? Have you had the same
Oh,
experience
yes.
too, where you have to
Yes,
think?
definitely. I had
Yeah.
exactly the same situation. And
Oh.
yeah, that's also the reason why I started out with my podcast, and I just recorded myself, and I just recorded and I have spoken a lot. And then over the time, it got easier for me. And how was it in your case? How could you overcome this?
Oh, yeah, I think it was this similar to yours. I started recording podcasts, talking to myself and talking to the guests, and it develops my English speaking skill to the point that I didn't really have to think much. Sometimes I think of what better words to use, and sometimes I just let it out.
Yeah. And sometimes when I listen to my own recording or maybe an interview, I think, oh no, I did a mistake here, and a terrible mistake.
Yeah. And you feel like you want to redo it again, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
You
I
feel
feel
that?
like redoing
Yeah.
it, but sometimes you can't because it's just from the interview, right? Sometimes you just you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
edit it out. So
Mhm.
yeah. But it's a pity.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can actually redo it, redo your part only, right? Just, yeah, I think if you want to do it. I used to do it in the first few episodes because I feel like this part is not good
Yeah.
enough, right?
Yeah,
So,
in my case, as I try to inspire others to learn languages, and I think it is important to not give too much importance to mistakes. So that's why I say it's okay to make mistakes. Everyone is making mistakes, so that's
yeah,
why I leave
I
it
love
in.
that. Well, for me, it's just my
Oh,
perfectionism stuff,
yeah.
I just want to make it sound perfect.
I see.
Yeah. But I like your reason though. It inspires others.
Yeah. Okay. And what happened next?
Yeah, in all those years, I actually took a lot of classes outside of school because I think school wasn't really enough for me to practice my English. So I ended up taking many classes and to practice my English. And some of the class, I ended up taking the public speaking class in English, which is way worse. But my parent wanted me to be more confident in speaking English. So they end up sending me to a class that taught me how to speak in front of strangers in English.
And
So,
and
yeah.
how did it go?
Yeah. So as a result, my confidence went up, but my English still wasn't really developed at that time. So they wanted me to develop these two things, right? Confidence and English. So after taking that class, I only developed my confidence, not English.
Oh, I see.
which is still cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think sometimes it goes hand in hand because I feel like if you are not confident in your own mother tongue, if you are maybe a person who doesn't speak at all, right? Then chances are that
Yeah.
also in English you will not be a very good speaker because it's just not who you are. You know what I mean? So sometimes if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
really bad in speaking in your own mother tongue, if you don't like it, if you never speak, then yeah, it will be hard to speak in English too, because if you don't practice, you will not develop your skills.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
Okay. So, and what about your future goals when it comes to English? So, do you just go on with your podcast?
So my goals in the future with my English
Mhm.
learning, I just hope that uh, one day I will not rely on scripts or points that is in front of me right now. I mean, every time I interview someone, I would have my script or take some points.
Yeah.
I would write some points and I would see it. So what I'm hoping one day is I would not rely on this thing again. So I just go on interview and just ask question without any
And have you
questions. Yeah.
tried once to do it without any points in front of you? So maybe you should just try it and then see how it goes. Or is it too much pressure?
Yeah, I can try. Maybe maybe someday. Actually, I can. It's just that I'm afraid that I asked the wrong questions. So having questions in front of me is good, but I just hope that I didn't write a long script. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get you.
Do you still have points or you just go an interview and just ask
For
questions?
example, now I have some points. Oh, yeah, sometimes I go without any points and I just see how it goes.
Wow.
And because the problem is sometimes I am writing too much, and then when I am in the interview, I can't read my my points, and maybe I don't find something. Sometimes I just go with the flow. I just go a little bit freestyle,
Mhm.
but
Oh,
it's different. Any interview is different a little bit, I think. And it
yeah.
helps to have a lot of interviews. Then it it helps you really a lot because you are used to it, right?
Because you've been practicing.
Exactly. So, do you have any other points left that you have written down?
I thought maybe I could share some of my challenges in English in my English
Yeah.
learning process. Some of them are I often repeat words many times. I repeat the same words many times because of my lack of my vocabulary. Okay. It's not happen. It doesn't happen too often, but it's just if someone listens to my podcast, my solo episode, they would recognize how many times I use the same word over again. So yeah, that's one
What
thing.
you mean? You repeat the words. You try to avoid certain words that you are using several times.
Yeah, some maybe like words such as alright
Yeah,
or
I see.
awesome.
I see.
Yeah, I keep
Yes,
saying.
it's exactly the same with me because I say some words all the time, all the time. For example, okay, I say a lot okay, or there are so small words that I am using all the time and it bothers me. I don't like that when I listen to it then, and sometimes I delete it. But how do you overcome it? How could you change it?
So that one is just practice. There are words that I've been using it and I have eliminated some of them to the point that I didn't even realize that I've used it many times. Some words like awesome, I haven't used it for a while now. I used to use that, but now I don't. So yeah, maybe it's a matter of how many times I practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I am in a Facebook group where you are the administrator, you are the moderator. And I noticed that sometimes you would go live. Sometimes you interview people live on Facebook. And this is quite a challenge, right? Because it puts a lot of pressure on you because it's live. And yeah, it can go wrong, right? For example, technical issues.
Yeah, I had that before. It was really frustrating and embarrassing at the same time because people are watching and then all of a sudden you just black out. So it makes people wonder, like, wait, what happened? So I try to avoid that many times, but things happen. There are things that cannot be avoided. So I just let people know that there are some technical issue. So yeah.
Yeah, I like your mindset. I think this is very important because, in general, also when you are having a conversation, sometimes something can go wrong or in an interview. And sometimes we have to say it's not that important because nobody dies, right? And it goes on. And I think that
Mm,
I
yeah.
watched one video where you went live and yeah, you had technical issues. And then I think 1 week after that, you did the interview again with the same person, and then it was all fine. So, so I like that.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that one.
So I like your mindset because we should not take it too seriously, right? Sometimes we should laugh about ourselves because it's not, as I said, nobody dies. And there is always a solution.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a great mindset to have because saying like nobody dies.
Yes. Maybe you want to tell us where we can find you.
So people can find me through my Facebook. And do you want some gift that I can give to your audience?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to give a physical gift
Oh,
to your audience. Is
of
that okay?
course. Of course.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So if anyone is going to start a podcast and doesn't have a mic yet, I would like to give one for free. Okay. It's a free physical microphone to any one of you that listen to this episode. And so I only have 500 of this. Okay. And I've been promoting it in many other places. So if you want one, just get on the wait list now before it's too late. Okay. So you can grab one at bit.ly/free podcast mic. That's bit.ly/free podcast mic.
Okay, thank you. But where is the catch? Because why should we receive a free microphone? There must be a catch.
Yeah, of course there's a catch. The catch is to get someone on my list.
On your newsletter list.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, on that list, I would give them a lot of tips, what I learned in my podcasting journey. And when they learn so much from me, I just hope that they will invest more
Okay, I
in me.
see.
So that's the catch.
So, but then it's more for people who are into marketing strategies, right? Or is it for everyone?
It's more into someone who wants to start
Okay.
a podcast and want to monetize it. So it doesn't matter if they are into marketing or if they have a product that they want to sell through podcast, then it's for them too.
Yeah.
It could be Patreon or merchandise.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it a good microphone?
It's a good one. Yeah.
Do you use the same microphone right now?
I used to use that. I had one for.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know how it sounds, and I believe that it is good for starters. So I use that when I started my podcast.
I see. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work with your podcast, and hopefully you can do 100 or 1,000 more interviews. They are really great.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Okay. And now I see that my girlfriend is coming home. That means that maybe the dogs will come in the room. So, be prepared.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm all good.